my little Tattle Tells? Welcome to the Real Housewives of Atlanta review. Y'all, I know your girl. I've been caught up with some things, but it don't matter. Come here, sit down, shut the door. Let's hold hands and do a prayer circle for Drew Sidora. Y'all, I swear I ain't never going to talk about her weaves, wigs, or wardrobe no more. Drew is down bad. Never did I think when this season started that Drew would capture my heart, but girl, I am rooting for her more than anything. They talk about drop it like Drew. I'm hoping who she drops is 198 pounds with a peanut shaved head, and his last name starts with Pittman. Y'all, Drew is down bad with Ralph. Ralph is a psychopath, and Drew is in an emotionally abusive relationship. At first, I thought maybe they were putting on for the cameras last year, talking about who would go to Tampa for a month, and then Drew just be like, no, but I think you were in Tampa. I thought they were playing. But now that I see how soft and timid she is with Ralph, y'all, let's do a prayer circle. Also, Marlo is the best Monty. Todd and Candy are so cute. I actually really do love their relationship. To me, it seems so real and solid. And Kenya and Sheree, yo, they up to no good, and I love it. Or at least Sheree isn't. By that look she had when Kenya told her Drew was having marriage problems, and she got that look of glee in her eyes and was like, I'll be sure to find out. I can't wait. Listen, I don't know what everybody's talking about. I'm going to be reviewing this every single day. Let me know, well, not every single day, but every week. Let me know if y'all want me to start going live. When is everybody talking about this is low ratings? First of all, this seems like old school Atlanta where that magic is back, baby, and I'm loving it. I really am loving it. But also, baby, if everybody talk about, this season is so low, it's low because last season was such a disaster because of people sleeping with strippers on company retreats and lying around and stealing people's men. It was so, and then making a mockery of Black Lives Matter for a storyline, right? When's the last time she's been doing anything for civil rights? I just want to know. I want to know. Honestly, why would people, it's actually, they're trying to get the audience back to season 13 when they let He Who Should Not Piranha be the center. That's all I want to say. Listen, it don't matter. The dust is settled. We have this cast. This is a good cast. This is a good show, y'all. Let's get into this mess. But make sure y'all hit the like, subscribe button, and let me know in the comments if you want me to go live to talk about this. Maybe I'll do the review, and then next week I'll go live because, y'all, this season is being good. I love Sonia. She is a seamless addition to the show. Her family dynamics are so cute. Her husband's really cute too. All the husbands, now that they got rid of like Father Time and Tequila Breath, right? All the husbands are really, really, really nice to look at. Everybody looks absolutely gorgeous. The girls on RHOA are back, and this is classic RHOA where it's so enjoyable. If you guys are not watching that show, it don't matter. I'll make it come alive. We watching this show together, y'all. What can I say? But I really like Sonia. Sonia, literally, I love how close she is with her family. I love that they seem real. I love that they're arguing over beef patties. I love that everybody is just one happy family. I love it. She fits in so seamlessly in the show. She literally is a natural, if you can call that. Her mom is her manager. Her sister's her hairdresser. They're sitting around arguing about beef patties. And I will say one other thing. Sonia got the strongest genes in the world. They better be thankful that all those women are beautiful because they could look like their daddy with a bow. All right, y'all, let's get into this. And also, my heart aches for Drew. Drew literally is giving me Kirk and Rashida vibes. And the fact that I feel like whatever going on with Ralph, they were playing around with it like, it's a storyline, and now it's blowing up in Drew's face. And I will also say this, Ralph was really handsome to me last season, but now he's in that effery. Now I'm starting to notice he looked like a cone head. He like funny looking. His head is shaped like one of the peanuts off of the Proud Family. Remember when they went to the island of Doctor Strange and they had those dancing peanuts doing the wiggle, 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 wiggle. And remember when the girls were like, come on, Dejanay, serve. No, come on, Zoe, serve them fools. And they were like breaking it down because they had to have a dance battle to get off the No, y'all remember? All right, let's get into this. Oh yeah, hit the like, subscribe button, and also let me know if you want to keep reviewing. Now listen, it don't matter whether you want me to or not. I am going to keep reviewing, but I was trying to take the temperature. It seemed like I cared. Okay, come on, let's move on. Okay, so let's get into the meat of this episode. It opens up with Kenya going to Chateau Sheree. And I will say this, right? Sheree's home looks amazing. The curved couch, the long things. Even Kenya's like, I can't even hate on this. Now, let's be real. Sheree's home is cute, but you can tell she picked out the finishes 6 years ago from the backsplash. But it's so beautiful. But you could tell that it's just like, you picked this out 6 years ago, and it's now being completed. Now, that said, better late than never, and the house looks amazing. But let's also be real. Kenya, you only giving us bigs up because you need alliances in this show. The dynamics have changed, and you now want to show a softer, sweeter side of you, or you want to show the real you. It's cool. You ain't got to lie to kick it. Sheree is so happy to be back. She's giving muffins. She's hopping around. She got the robe flowing, right? Her little cute dog is right there. She still don't have any inventory, but you know Sheree's doing it. They sit down and they talk about the fact that, you know, what's going on. They talk about with Drew. They talk about Marlo's edges. Kenya automatically starts dragging Marlo. Now, I actually do think this is production moving a storyline again forward, because I feel like when Kenya says that she is a truce with someone, it really is a truce. But that said, maybe it's like, you know, Marlo has taken a place of Sheree, and now she's trying to be cool with Sheree. They talk about the edges that Marlo dragged Drew's butt. Now, listen, this is all I want to say. Marlo dragging anybody, I don't know. But we all know Drew and her wigs and her edges and her things. And as somebody who's half the time my weave is messed up too, fine, I'll allow it. But honestly, is she really the best ambassador for Go Naked Hair? Now, I will say something. Her edges have been laid, but it's so much so I refuse to believe it's Go Naked Hair. I really honestly think Go Naked Hair, like a lot of hair vendors, you get hair from anywhere and then you just say it's yours, right? Oh, look, Go Naked Hair. Meanwhile, you got it from wherever, Tom, Dick, Harry, whatever. Now, let's get into the juice about Drew's assistant. Drew's assistant is Sheree's assistant, and he's been spreading Sheree's business. But I put my ear to the Atlanta streets, and they said this is really what happened. Apparently, that assistant, Anthony, is really, really, like, he wants to be put on. He wants to be in the midst of everything. He went around and offered to be an assistant to everybody because he just wants to work with them. Sheree said yes, but also so did Drew. So he decided to start working for both of them, but he's spreading everybody's business because he wants camera time. I understand why people do that. You should have just stayed with Sheree. But then again, we see Sheree literally getting on Carlos King's talking about, I think Candy should just be honest and open. Girl, you just got on the show. I can't blame Anthony because sometimes Sheree does pick the wrong team that gets her scooted out of the door. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes she does do that. So you know what? I will allow it. And anyway, we are getting to Drew because honestly, Drew and Ralph, it's a mess. It's a mess, but let's move on. Now, side note, did y'all see the way Sheree's face lit up in glee when Kenya started telling her about Drew and all the marriage problems she was having? Sheree's face lit up like Christmas, and I said, welcome back, Sheree. All right, let's move on. Yeah, we gotta talk about Drew and Ralph. Again, I thought Ralph was one of the most handsome husbands that's been on Real Housewives of Atlanta when I thought he was actually a real husband. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Last year with that Tampa stuff, I literally thought it was a storyline that Ralph and Drew had concocted so they could look more interesting. Because, you know, Drew liked to exaggerate things last year and make up things. Remember the prophet? I thought it was really like some type of exaggeration. But y'all, she was not exaggerating. I remember thinking, what is the truth? Are y'all making up the thing? Because how is Ralph the perfect mate and the perfect father and so supportive, but yet he disappearing for a month at a time at Tampa and just turning his phone off? Y'all, I think we got our answer. Ralph is a gaslighter. Ralph is ignorant. Ralph is a cheater. And Drew, she's in a bad relationship. And this hurts my heart for Drew. Listen, Drew got on my nerves. I thought Drew was a production pawn, but nobody deserves this type of treatment. And I honestly feel like Drew brought it up because Ralph does gaslight her, because it's easy to get over on her for whatever reason. Maybe I think Drew is just a gentle person. Like when it comes to Ralph, almost like Kenya and Mark, but not. When it comes to Ralph, she's like, hey, Ralph. And then he says stuff and she backs off of it. Again, I'm not going to say he's a narcissist. Right now, he just seems like a cheater. Let's go to thing. Talking about, literally the mind games. I don't know if you feel, first of all, he's like, are you still with your assistant, the back rub? And he was like, I fired her. First of all, Ralph, why you got an assistant? What do you do? Seriously. So basically you just tell your side piece that that's your assistant and come over and y'all doing like what? Work, crunching numbers, crunching something, right? But then the way he's like, I fired her. And he's like, oh, she was like, so y'all don't talk? What you mean we don't talk? We just don't do business together. Ralph, the issue wasn't business. You know this. The issue was you actually having somebody on the side. Then he got the nerve to say, maybe you just intimidated by what Ralph went to Kevin Samuel's school of talking to women. He literally said, maybe you just intimidated by what you look like. Now, Drew was quick on that. Drew said, well, what she look like? Right? I saw the Chicago flare up. Anytime a Chicago person, Chi-Town, start talking real soft and like, oh, what she look like and calm, hell's about to break over, right? And he's like, she a 50-year-old woman. And Drew was like, and what that mean? Because Ralph, you like what, 38? You ain't that far behind. When I was born, she was 12. Continue, but you've been on this earth for through almost 4 decades. I think the age gap caught up, right? Then he's like, I fired her. Forget about the massage. Drew talks about she was posting subs, right? Ralph turns around and says, so many women are around me. He is twisting and turning and doing the matrix just to make sure that Drew back off of his boo thing. I just don't know. Ralph is a mess. Literally, Drew had to look up the meaning of gaslight. Drew, you already know what that meaning is. You probably on amidatinganarc.com, right? Tampa really, really happened. And when Ralph said, you don't understand men, especially black men, to a black woman, Drew, listen. And then he's going to be like, I don't want to resent you. Y'all, let's move on. We're going to come back to this because Todd tried it too. But shout out to Candy and Todd for actually showing their reality. And also Drew, she's being open and honest and showing her reality. But all I got to say is old daddy still single? Because new daddy's cutting up. Let's see if old daddy's still single. Let's move on. Now, before we get into shenanigans with Candy and Marlo, y'all, can I just say, I'm really enjoying Candy on this season. Candy is being so real. Even that message she was doing with Todd about that apartment. Now, one, the fact that he got in an empty apartment. Now, I'm looking to see if he's been staying there because whatever. And at first I thought Candy was like, what you mean you got an apartment? But they got so much trust between them that literally she's like, I'm not laying my head where your ex used to stay at. And Todd's like, but you didn't even flip the mattress before you brought me over. And I love the fact that they are so busy and always on the move that they literally keep starting home projects that they don't finish because, well, I don't know, Candy could hire a designer, but listen, I'm the same way. I thought I'd start projects and they ain't done. And the first project is my hair. Let's get into Candy and Marlo. They had such an interesting talk that I think is in a long time coming in the community. Y'all know I'm a big proponent of I do feel like even in America, we glorify struggle. And at the end of the day, you can learn what you need to be focused and ambitious without literally having to fight for food. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes people feel like if you don't fight for food, if you don't fight for struggle, you're not going to be anything. But when you look at the people that actually take over companies, take over industries, run Top Fortune, and you ask them, they didn't struggle. Now, don't get me wrong, you got ambition and you have a work ethic. But I do think that there's some lessons we learn in struggling that nobody should have to learn. Literally having to choose between going to work and paying your rent or going to class or going to school is not something you have to worry about. Staying up with your stomach touching your back, worrying about how you're going to pay rent is not something that helps you be great. If anything, it instills a fear of scarcity in your heart that people literally fight their whole lives. either through therapy or just actually doing it. So yeah, I agree. And also it's really poignant because honestly, Candy's raising kids that can pretty much have anything they want. And they are going to inherit not just a legacy, but they're going to inherit a coin. And it's not the kind of coin that's buying like a billion different color bows and Balenciaga sneakers. Candy's money is literally, you are setting your children up for generational wealth and generational legacy. And she's setting all her children up, Kayla, Riley, Blaze, Ace, to actually know what to do with it. Because at the end of the day, as much as I drag them, isn't that's how the Kardashians got started? Yeah, they had a head start, right? Candy's kids are gonna have a bigger head start and they ain't making no tapes, right? But you set your kids up to have like a really good head start, but then their work ethic takes that fortune and makes it into billions. And that's what Candy stepped up. So I see when Marlo being like, oh, they like little monsters, they spoiled. And Candy, on the other hand, is like, my kids been going to private school. And you talk about the kids are spoiled because they got a $1,200 suit, but these kids got Mercedes for their 15th birthday, their 16th birthday. Like, so what is it? You know, I think that was an important conversation to have. And I'm glad they had it because I feel like it's going to take all types. Now, let's get in this thing. Candy is so interested to know what Marlo actually does. And the funny thing is, you can tell that even though Marlo and Candy are cool, Marlo has tried her in the past. We saw that with the Realm. But even though they're cool, Candy, because she's about her money, has always been like, but no, for real, what does she do? She kind of look at Marlo like she's Tommy, ain't got no job, and she's just eager to know. Now, I know in this part of life, Marlo wants to be a design house, and it's going to work, right? Even though Kenya threw shade and said they archive is spelled wrong. But y'all, let's get back into Drop It with Drew, because the only weight right now that Drew needs to drop is about 198 pounds of muscle that Drew needs to drop. Let's get into this. Okay, so then we get to Marlo. She's helping her nephew get dressed for homecoming. Listen, I feel Marlo because the way she grew up, it's so refreshing to actually see her whole family, right? But the way she shared her life, her mom was on whatever, foster care was actually better than home. And most people talk about foster care as being like a very, very scary place, but it was a sanctuary for Marlo. So I get the fact that she's like, oh, I'm doing too much. I'm feeding y'all steak lobster. But you also see Marlo beaming with pride and love that she can kind of give her nephews the love and support that she feels that was lacking, I would assume, in her youth. So it's like, I see you, Money Low. You know, it's like a humble brag, but it's the best type of humble brag because it's not bragging about like a car or shoes. Or I'm not saying Marlo brags about any about that other people do, but I am saying this is something you should be proud of and something you should brag on. Now let's get to the main event. Oh my God. Drew and Ralph's relationship. Oh my God. She is so sad. She is so timid. He literally did. I'm not saying he's a narcissist, but he is an F-boy. I swear to God, he literally is one of Kevin Samuel's disciples. Shout out to the high value angel. And I'm not even joking. The fact that he literally, because Drew rightfully checked him like, what is going on between you and your assistant? He decides to do something nice for her, gets her out there, gets her dressed up, then says, you know, we need to have more open communication, then insults her, talking about, yeah, Dr. Kevin, whoever said you, blah, 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 blah. And then Drew's like, well, he says you're a maniac. And he flips out, what you mean, maniac? This is why I don't do nothing, literally. And the thing is, I will say with Ralph, because I found that even in YouTube, a lot of people, if somebody's not raising their voice at you or cursing at you, people will be like, oh, that's not bad. It's a certain people that's like, don't raise your voice, right? But we all know, just like with Ralph, somebody can be calm, somebody can do this and that, and somebody can be eating your soul out. And the fact that literally he's taking all these shots at Drew, like Drew's a gorgeous woman. I actually really feel bad for actually dragging her about her lace fronts and her tacky style. Because hear me out, I'm being dead serious, right? Because like I see now that like all day the man that's laying next to you, that's about, because Drew's a gorgeous woman, right? We can't deny that, right? ain't a bad wig, ain't tacky style that can cover up, because Drew's face card ain't never gonna be declining. Drew got a cute shape too, even though I don't see what happened with her Monty makeover. Did she even have one? But Drew got a cute shape too, with her little apple-shaped self. But it's a cute shape, right? Drew's a beautiful woman. You can't take that away from her. I will say this though, like, you know, all these people like dragging her, and yes, put me in all these people. And meanwhile, you got the man next to you that's supposed to be your partner, that's supposed to love you and hype you up, literally like taking shots at the way you look, your attitude, your this, your that. When at the end of the day, Drew is so gentle with Ralph, so timid with Ralph, so loving with Ralph. Ralph got a problem. He literally, when she is like, well, you're a maniac too, right? Because all right, Drew, he's taking shots, get shots at him. And the way Ralph literally flipped out, turned it back, did this is that, said, you don't understand me, this is what I do, gaslit the hell out of her, and then said, this is why I don't do nice things for you, and then rolled out while Drew was sitting there with tears in her eyes, trying to swallow her tears so she can finish her salmon or whatever they were eating, right? And you know what the messed up thing about it is? Do you know what the messed up thing about it? I am more than confident that the whole point of that dinner, that accident wasn't an accident. I'm sorry, that argument wasn't an accident. Ralph walked in with the intention of putting Drew in her place. He walked in with the intention of throwing her off guard, yelling at her, and letting her know the next time you open your mouth to question me about anything or anybody, person, place, thing, car, or thing that wants to give me a massage, you better keep your mouth shut, because you're going to be the one that pays. Next time I embarrass you, Drew, you're going to be the one that pays. Next time you demand respect, you're going to be the one that pays. Next time you even think that you can open your mouth to fix your lips or twist them to say anything to me, you're going to be the one to pay. And I'm going to humiliate you, and I'm going to embarrass you, and you're going to be sitting here because, God damn it, you better be like a puppy at my feet and grateful for the nice things I do for you. Yo, let me tell y'all something. It's giving real Simon and Portia vibes. I'm just saying. I don't understand how Drew's still close with Portia, because honestly, Simon and Ralph give me the same vibes. Only the thing is, Ralph is better looking and smoother with it. Simon is too much of a boorish oaf to know how disgusting he is. Ralph at least knows to keep his face and his body tight. And he also knows how to talk the King's English so he can be smooth with that. Simon's too much of an oaf. But honestly, Drew, girl, I hope she came on Housewives, not just to get more acting jobs, because Drew actually is a talented actor. I feel so bad for clowning her last season, knowing what she's going through. I really do. And I see why she got so mad at LaToya. I mean, I know the preacher thing was some BS, but I see why she got so mad at LaToya, because you're with a man that you can't even open your mouth and say two words about the mess he's doing. So the most you can do to protect your family is to go argue with the other chicks. It's odd you was busy doing the let your slide at Portia's engagement party. That's all I'm saying. Y'all, this season is looking like it is good. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know if you want to do live so we can actually talk about this, because y'all, your girl's back. I loved Housewives, but y'all, it was a lot. I feel bad for Drew. I ain't gonna talk about her weaves no more. They look good this season. I still don't believe that's go naked hair. I think Portia should just be buying Chinese store hair and saying this go naked, but that's my opinion. But I ain't gonna talk about her no more until she drops Ralph. I hope to God this lets her find freedom. I really honestly do. Man, poor Drew, that hurt my soul. It really did. All right, y'all, I'll see y'all next week for the recap. Let me know if you want to do live, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.